Hey everybody, welcome to Real Brave Live number 6 billion.
Is it really?
Yeah, we've
Wow.
just went straight ahead into the future. This is the future. Welcome to the future, Kevin.
Wow, it's so cool and different here.
Today we're going to talk about the 10 most controversial band replacements according to WatchMojo.com. Not Business Insider. According to WatchMojo.com, I thought it was an interesting list. I know how you love lists, Kevin.
I love lists.
I'm
a listophile.
Sure. And we'll talk about what Real Brave does. Real Brave is an amazing music school online. But for now, let's talk about the 10 most controversial band replacements here on
Real Brave Live.
Great. Do you like bands?
I love bands.
What kind of band? Brian, do you like bands?
I do like bands.
Good catch.
I'm wondering why you'd skip right over what
Good
bands
catch.
Kevin likes.
I like a lot of like lounge type music. You know?
That would have broken the record, I think.
Yeah, no, fastest.
Yeah, you have to watch yourself on that one.
Friends of the show, fans of the show know.
It's painful. Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time editing videos, and I don't know how people do it all day. And I ran across this because I was doing this kind of left and A-Bing. Like if you have like a singer that started with the band, and then you had another singer that came in and replaced that person, and then we posted that video on YouTube, we were getting a lot of engagement. Then I kind of went down the rabbit hole, and I found all these different things. This is one of them. Yeah, people leave bands apparently, right? You ever leave a band before?
Band has left me.
I wonder why, Kevin.
Artistic differences.
Artistic differences?
Yeah.
Like what?
Like they didn't like the shirts I was wearing on stage.
That's not artistic.
They were very artistic shirts.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Man, I wish we had a rated R show.
This is a family show. You can curse me out off the air.
Have you ever left a band, Brian?
I left many bands, yes.
Oh.
They have also left me, Kevin, though, to make you feel at home. You know, we've parted ways before.
Were you the jerk in the band?
I'm the guy who's always organizing stuff,
Ugh.
and so that is perceived as being the jerk.
Yeah.
But in reality, if I'm not telling you when practice is, practice ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
So.
Did you book the shows?
Yes.
I had to do that too. I hated that.
It's the worst.
One time I called a club, and the guy picked up the phone, and it was like I was really young. I was like 17, 18. I was the guy doing it, and the guy picked up the phone, and I was going, "Hi, Mr. Whatever. This is Dan Powers from the band Whatever," and going on and on and on, and then there's complete silence, and I'm like, "Hello," and my friend Paul's like, "Dude, you're calling your friend Paul." And I looked down at the number on like the dial pad. I was
That's
like,
embarrassing.
Ooh.
Some manager you were of that band, huh?
Did either of you guys ever pull the hi, this is Don Smith, the manager for insert band, a fake name or a fake email address, something to get some.
I'm pretty sure I got an email along those lines very recently from the manager.
Oh, really?
Band. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sure. Mercury Lounge. I'm trying to get in there because you needed to like be better.
Did you give them a tape, a demo tape?
Demo tape, yeah. Band pictures. Hate band pictures.
Band
Hate
pictures.
band
There's
pictures.
no way to not look ridiculous.
You look so stupid.
You're
in all
either
of them.
like super serious, or you're we're having a great time, or
Not
you're
looking at the
rocking
camera.
out. There's no good pose.
Why the band picture? Maybe this is why all these people were replaced because the band pictures are stupid.
I mean, some of these band pictures on here are wonderful.
Well, according to I didn't know. Number 10. I know nothing about this one. I know who Lou Reed is, but I didn't know that Doug Yule replaced.
I'm gonna call a little bit shenanigans on this one.
Okay. Lou Reed?
So Doug Yule was hired by Lou Reed to be a member of the Velvet Underground. Lou Reed quit. They were still under contractual obligation, and so released an album with Doug Yule singing. But Doug Yule wanted to change the name, and contractually they couldn't do it. So it's not like he was brought in as a replacement. He was just like the bass player and was now the guy under contract.
Right,
so that's a little bit different, I'd say.
The new version of the band, which included Deep Purple's Ian Pace and several session players. I wasn't a huge fan of the Velvet Underground. I'm still not.
I like the Velvet Underground.
I mean, it's good. It's It's the Velvet Underground. It's just like I'm like okay, it's
Just
cool.
5 years old. Can't believe this is happening at all.
It's that New York CBGB's vibe.
But 10 years before.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. Lou Reed was like that underground dirt.
Yeah. There aren't too many uplifting songs called Heroin, for instance.
Yeah, you really can't put a good spin on that, right, Kevin?
Unless you're talking about a Marvel character, such
a
as
a female hero.
a female hero.
Yeah.
Is that what a female hero is?
A heroine?
A heroine?
Yeah.
That's a terrible name.
Well,
Leave it to men to just screw it up.
yeah.
Just call them all heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, call them all heroes. What you might as well.
Sheroes.
That's even worse.
blew
That's
it.
so
blew
worse.
it.
I'm so sorry.
Number 9, Vivian Campbell for Steve Clark. This is I have an issue with this because Steve Clark died.
Yeah.
So they had to do something.
And are you aware that we are neighbors with Vivian Campbell?
What?
I believe he lived or lives in Ringwood.
Vivian's a guy's name?
Yes.
He's a great guitarist. I think you're thinking of somebody else.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There is a guy
There's a
that
Def Leppard guy who lives or lived in Ringwood.
No, there's a Trickster guy that lives in.
There's also there was also a Def Leppard guy at one point.
Really?
Yes.
Wait a second.
I know the Trickster guy you're referring to.
The Jonas Brothers are from Wyckoff. My hometown.
Yes.
As is Tara Reid.
Yes. We established this last week on the show.
That was last week?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, man.
No, Steve Brown.
I know he lives there, too. I thought there was another guy who lived there. Or might not currently live there, but lived there.
I'm thinking
at
of
one point.
Steve Brown.
Yeah.
Steve Brown is he takes all the guitar lessons. Everybody knows Steve Brown.
Oh.
Do you know Steve Brown?
Nah.
Let's tell Kevin who Steve Brown is. Do you know who Steve Brown is?
Is that James Brown's younger brother?
Yes.
It's Mrs. Brown's daughter.
Oh. Any relation to Zach Brown?
He was a Trickster guitarist. That's all I know about him.
Trickster guitarist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
Like-
Trickster?
Bad
Oh.
Trickster.
No.
Not like he's devious.
I thought he would be like the Joker.
He's not a devious person. He's
not
gonna be
a
like,
duplicitous guitar player.
Do you want guitar lessons? Say.
Go ahead, play an A chord. Ha, there's no strings.
That guy now plays in like an 80s cover band that plays around a lot, as well as Trickster. What are they called? They're called something like Fanny Pack or something like that. That's not what their name is.
No, that would be
It's-
great.
But it's
I
something
love
like
that.
that.
Hey, everybody. We're called Fanny Pack.
Fanny Pack
this
is
is
a
our
great-
first song called
Great-
Blowhard.
great
Let's
band
go.
Spell Fanny with a PH and you're really onto something.
Let's start it, guys. Real brave band, Fanny Pack.
They were a glam metal band from Paramus, New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
And they were huge in the early 1990s when like that hair metal was blowing up, like the
Yeah.
really corny stuff, like
Right.
Warrant.
Right before Nirvana.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. They got famous like a year before that.
When hair metal flew too close to the sun.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, you ever see that interview with Janie Lane?
No.
Janie Lane, right, from Warrant?
Yeah.
And he was giving the interview, and he was talking like, I knew it was over when my poster was replaced by like Nirvana or
Soundgarden. whatever it was,
Soundgarden
yeah.
or something like that. Yeah. And like I said, I was doing these like rags to riches stories, which I'm not like. These videos are really hard. I don't know how people do them all day. And it's hard to find like the true
Probably don't
information.
have businesses that they're also running on the side. This is
True.
Real Brave's a side hustle now,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah. Start your business and then just become a social media creator. But these rag to riches stories about these people that like, you know, become famous. I forgot where I was going with that.
Warrant.
No, Trickster.
Trickster.
Anyway, who's next on the list?
The
Okay.
Riddler.
All right, I'm sorry. The next on the list, we've got this is another one. So Ian Astbury for Jim Morrison.
That was like 30 years later, wasn't it?
I never heard of this. The death of a band member. So this is like written by us. Our facts are not quite right.
Is always tough. The death of a band member is always tough.
That is the most condescending sentence to say. Like, hey guys, I know your singer just died. Rough stuff, man.
Real bummer, man.
This is written by AI. 100%.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. What are you doing, Dave?
Yeah.
For AC/DC, Brian Johnson was chosen to fill in Bon Scott following Jim Morrison's death.
Many years later. I want to say this was like 98, maybe. I remember when this happened. There was a VH1 special or something.
Yeah.
And they brought in a bunch of singers, and then Ian Astbury went on tour with them, maybe, I think, for a year or so. And I want to say they had to change the name because the drummer wasn't there.
Ian Astbury's the singer for the Cult.
The Cult, yes.
He was like 10 in 1973.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If that.
Oh, he's 61 years old. Okay. So he would have been 10.
Well done. Well played, sir.
Wow. That worked out really well.
This is everybody's favorite portion of the show where we do math.
Yes.
Stay tuned for where we do meth.
Meth?
Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
Mhm.
Might as well.
Might as well.
Number 7, Blaze Bailey for Bruce Dickinson. By the way, this is what started me down this rabbit hole because we started getting all this
Right.
back and forth on YouTube.
Right.
Like, I like Blaze. I like Bruce.
Let us know in the comments if you
Yeah,
like
let us know in the
Blaze
comments
or
below.
Bruce.
If I'm ruining it for you.
Are you a Bailey head or are you a Dickinson head?
You could have said
I could have said a lot of things
You-
just
you
there,
really
but it's a
should've. It
family
was right
show.
there for
it's
you.
a family show, Dan.
Families come in all shapes and sizes, Kev.
So do
Let's leave that there.
in the early 1980s, Iron Maiden replaced coke-addicted Paul Di'Anno. Am I saying that right?
you sure did.
With Bruce Dickinson, which wasn't welcomed by early fans and diehard purists. Over time, however, most came to love, appreciate, and respect Dickinson. So by the time he quit to go solo, Blaze Bailey didn't stand a chance. His 2 albums were the lowest charting of the band's career. Dickinson eventually retired.
He got out of there like the Dickens.
Yes.
Right. I blew it.
I get it. I get it. No, that's good.
Okay.
I also wonder, like, I'm sure that this Blaze
None taken.
fella is fine, right? But that was
The Blaze fella.
those albums also came out like in the mid '90s when nobody was buying those kind of metal albums.
Yeah,
the
true.
Blaze chap.
So would those have been the worst selling ones, even if
I'm sure it
Dickinson
smelled.
was there?
Yeah. I like the Dickinson Iron Maiden. I'm not a fan of anything prior to that because I don't know it. How about that? I just know the Dickinson version.
Yeah,
The Dickens. Right?
the Dickensian
Dickensian, yes.
Iron Maiden.
Number 6, Tim Ripper Owens for Rob Halford.
This is the one that they made that movie kind of about, movie Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg.
No.
Yes. Where there's this like fictional metal band and Mark Wahlberg is the singer of a tribute band and they see him and get him to replace the singer. That's the Ripper Owens story. But it was fictionalized and made into a crappy Mark Wahlberg movie.
Marky Mark?
Marky Mark.
Wow.
No
And
Funky Bunch though.
Spoiler alert. Did you see the movie?
No.
Can I ruin it for you?
You can, sure. I'm not going to watch it.
He starts doing, it's at the end. Can I ruin it for you too?
I've seen it.
Oh, yeah. So it's at the end of like the rock metal period.
Sure, yeah.
And he starts transitioning into alternative band.
Oh.
He starts becoming a singer-songwriter.
So
He's got
kinda
like
like-
plaid on.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's like cool. Jennifer Aniston is in it too, right?
She is, yes.
Yeah. Love Jennifer Aniston.
What's that other movie that I'm thinking of? Almost Famous?
Yes.
Or Spinal Tap? This is Spinal Tap?
Those are both much better movies than Rockstar, and
Yeah.
neither have to do with replacing a singer.
Ah.
Spinal Tap plays a lot of drummers, though.
Yeah,
All
true.
the drummers die in Spinal Tap.
Right.
One just like blows up on stage at one point, I believe.
Oh my God, I haven't seen it in forever. You big Judas Priest fan?
Not particularly.
No. You, Kevin?
No.
Not even hesitating.
No.
I mean, they're great for what they are, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a metal guy.
Not a metal guy. Okay. What are you?
It's like flesh and hair and probably a good amount of
You're
pus.
just a bag of meat
Yeah, I'm just a meat puppet. Yeah,
with
exactly.
a flannel shirt on.
Yeah, exactly. I'm doing my 90s alternative
Yeah.
Seattle thing.
So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like a 90s alternative guy.
I actually am, yes.
Okay, so you're like a Johnny Goo Goo meets the Meat Puppets right? The Meat Puppets. You know the Meat Puppets?
No.
Okay.
Great alternative band.
Yeah.
I am in a cover band called Daddy's Midlife Crisis, and we just do 90s alternative covers. We do Meat Puppets, Backwater.
Okay.
That's not the one-hit wonder band though?
That is the
Cracker.
one-hit
That is the one-hit. Well,
wonder.
okay.
Yes, we do all 90s one-hit wonders.
You do Tonic Man?
We don't do Tonic. No, we're heavier than that, man.
Are you heavier than that
Heavier
band,
than
man?
that,
What about Cracker?
We do Low by Cracker.
Okay,
What about
Cracker.
Uncle Cracker?
No, I'm not I'm not a jerk.
Oh, okay.
What else? Marcy's Playground?
No. We're doing some Faith No More right now.
Ooh, gotta love Faith No More.
We're doing some Helmet.
Ooh.
Remember Helmet?
That's like, who is going to be there and be like, oh my God, they're playing Helmet?
Unsung was kind of a hit, man.
They had, I think I might get this right. They had like the biggest signing bonus ever.
Oh.
Oh,
and
really?
They did like nothing in sales.
They had one minor hit.
Wow.
Yeah,
Just
they were
one
like a
recovery.
huge underground. I'm pretty sure I got that right.
What a disappointment.
Huge disappointment. They were really heavy. Like they had like that huge, gigantic guitar sound, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They're okay. No, I don't want to crap in your band. Sorry.
It's right. I did not pick that song.
What songs did you pick?
If we're talking, let's see, Pixie song, of course. Even though they're not really one-hit wonders, I threw a Pixie song in there.
Okay.
We're doing Flagpole Sitta by Harvey Danger.
I have a question. Is it Dad's Midlife Crisis that's going to be at the carnival?
No, that's a different band.
What's
Sorry.
the name of that band?
No Picnic.
No Picnic.
We're No Picnic.
Okay.
Is it because you guys are like not fun to be around?
Yeah.
That's about right.
Do you attract a lot of ants?
Speaking of which,
And
Biting my
bears.
tongue at the joke. Biting my tongue at the joke right now.
speaking of which, I got a spider bite on my knee,
Oh, no.
and it itches like the Dickens.
That's terrible. Like the Dickinson?
Son. Yes. You ever have a spider bite before?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not fun.
I got one on my hand once. My whole hand puffed up.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
I was watching it as like I almost went to the hospital.
One of 9 reasons I hate spiders.
Yeah, they bite you.
Yeah.
Well, you hate each of their legs. That's 8 reasons.
That's all.
And then-
That's 8 of them.
And then they bite
Yeah.
you.
And then,
That's
yeah.
okay.
But Hazel plays with them. Hits them back and forth.
Oh,
It's really fun to watch.
Oh, that's cute.
And then she eats them.
Oh, see, that's good. That's a good kitty.
And then she licks my wife, which is kind of gross.
All right.
Then my dogs throw up on the floor.
Yeah.
And it's a great time to be at my house right now.
Wow. It's a lot of.
The Nature Channel.
Yeah, it's like National Geographic out
I
there.
do live in the woods. Arnold Pineda for Steve Perry.
Oh,
Journey.
from Journey.
Yeah.
Steve Perry, I thought was.
No, he's Journey.
I thought was Aerosmith.
That's Steven Tyler and Joe Perry. You have put the two Aerosmith members together into one person.
Is Journey a super group then?
No.
Oh.
No, it's just a bunch of guys. I actually thought that this one was unnecessary. He wasn't Journey's first singer, but Steve Perry is linked. Again, this is from WatchMojo.com. To the band's most commercially successful periods. He's since had a string of replacements, starting with Steve Augury, which I didn't know, Talisman's Jeff Scott Soto, and most recently this Pineda guy. But then it goes on. Despite Pineda's obvious talent, there are those who don't think he's on par with Perry. What? He sounds exactly like him.
He
While
does.
others have made racist remarks regarding his Filipino culture. That's unnecessary.
That also has nothing to do with his singing ability. This is supposed to be like these crazy replacements. Why is this that crazy?
I don't know. Who wrote this?
AI.
You know, one thing I've never been able to play is that part at the beginning of Don't Stop Believing that's like. I can't get it.
Isn't it out of time, though? It's not supposed to
No,
be in time?
it accelerates as it goes. I haven't been able to do that.
Is it
I guess
picked or is it...
that's probably the way. It's
pull off?
it's picked. It's picked. It's like
I'm not a good picker. I'm a nose picker.
Ah.
I'm not a good picker.
I'm a
Butt picker?
I'm a puller. I'm a pull off a lot.
You're a butt puller.
I'm a legato guy.
I got away with speed by doing hammer-ons.
Yeah,
and
that's
pull-offs,
what
and
I
that's the
do.
only way
I
could do
wish
it.
I had the right hand
I don't
control
have the
to.
right hand. I could barely put 2 steps together without falling, which, if you haven't seen it already...
Is there a video of you falling somewhere?
No, Still by with Michael J. Fox
Oh,
is really good.
That was the worst transition.
did you say speaking of
Absolutely
falling?
worst transition I've ever seen
Oh, man.
or heard anywhere about anything
I'm so sad.
in the history of time. That is the worst transition.
Holy crap. Oh my god, that was really funny. I'm known for my transitions. Right?
And speaking of transitions,
Let's transition to the next in the list.
My grandfather had Parkinson's, so it's okay. I'm allowed to do stuff like that.
I know what clip I'm not putting on YouTube later.
please.
Multiple Metallica. What does that mean?
Multiple replacements, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, they basically almost replaced everybody except for Lars.
Mustaine,
I've been listening to a lot of Megadeth.
Cliff.
A
Cliff
lot
died,
of Megadeth.
Why?
I love Megadeth. It's really good. I think it's better than Metallica.
Really?
I do. Yeah, and there's way more like material too.
Though. Megadeth is a unit of measurement. It means 1 million deaths.
Sure.
Is that real? Is that real?
That's a real thing.
No, it's not.
Yeah. What is a Megadeth?
What is a Megadeth?
Dan, you'll be happy to know we are learning Sweating Bullets for our cover band. So, Sweating Bullets!
What is a Megadeth?
A unit used in quantifying the casualties of nuclear war equal to the deaths of 1 million people.
Wow, you know things.
So,
I think Mustaine is. I mean, he's not a great person, from what I understand. He's a drunk.
He was a drunk. I think we need to.
He's a conservative drunk.
That's
Fine.
probably true.
Okay. But musically, like, Marty Friedman, who's in the band, he was incredible. I don't know if he's still in the band.
what do you play?
He's a
The
guitarist.
guitar.
In Megadeth?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just a big fan. Anyway, so what am I saying here? So
Metallica replaced a lot of people.
yeah, I think the one that I don't understand, well, besides Cliff Burton.
Well, you have to kind of understand the Cliff Burton one because, he died.
Yeah,
Tragically.
we talked about this once, and it was really funny. We were on the air talking about this because, like, they were big drinkers. They were doing a lot of drugs, and you were like, "Well, Cliff, would he die of an overdose?" I was like, "No, no, a bus fell on him." And you were like, "What was that? Like a bus overdose or something like that? Or too many buses falling on him?" You have to go back in time and see it.
Is that Cliff Burton?
Cliff
Yes.
Burton, yeah.
See, that's the one I get confused with John Bonham. I thought John Bonham got crushed by a bus, but it was
No,
Cliff.
it was
Yeah.
Cliff
Burton.
Burton.
Okay.
And that's right. That's how it happened
Yeah.
because John Bonham died of an overdose, right?
Yes.
Bummer.
Yeah. So Cliff Burton died of a bus overdose. Too many buses on him.
This is a viewer's other favorite part of the show where we talk about death
What's my favorite part? I think it's
and incurable diseases.
But the Newstead thing, I don't understand.
So he quit.
I thought he was fired.
No, he quit when they were going through all that therapy that's in that movie,
Yeah.
which is amazing. If people have not seen Metallica, Some Kind of Monster, it's the Brian thumbs up approval here.
Really?
Watch that movie. Oh, it's fantastic.
Is
Have
it
you
just
seen it?
No.
Just
Oh,
one thumb?
It's on Netflix. Everybody go home tonight. Watch Some Kind of Monster. It is the craziest portrayal of being in a band you've ever seen.
Did they shop at Prada afterwards?
I mean, Lars Ulrich sells a bunch of paintings for like $5 million at an auction.
Wow.
So
Paintings by him?
no, he buys like famous paintings.
See, if he was like cool like Ringo Starr,
Peace
he
and love.
would be on MS Paint.
Peace and love.
We talked about that, right?
Yes.
Ringo Starr's MS Paint
Yes.
things going up for auction.
Yes. And they sold for a lot of money.
Tragically bad. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, most MS paint things are very bad. So
Yeah, but if it's done by Ringo Starr,
yeah.
right? You get that NFT, it's worth at least $1. Right? Didn't NFTs fall apart?
No, NFTs are going to now replace QR codes, apparently.
Why?
I don't know.
How?
I heard that at a meeting.
You're going to be able to scan like a gorilla monkey guy?
Yeah.
And then it'll bring you to a gorilla monkey page?
Yeah. That's the idea.
Okay. Ronnie James Dio for Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath.
Yeah. I don't know. When I think of Black Sabbath, I don't think of Dio.
No.
I think of
Those
Ozzy
Dio
Osbourne.
years were very, I think, well received at the time. Like Dio's a great singer. I mean, I think you can deny that voice.
Sure.
but people wanted Ozzy.
Right.
And the entire Black Sabbath career was people asking, like, when's Ozzy coming back?
Right.
So,
Right.
But then he went solo and did like way better than
Yes.
Black Sabbath ever did.
I used to do an Ozzy impression, but I don't think I can do it right now.
Don't do it.
Okay. Are you saying I'm a jackass?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying it might be insensitive to Ozzy Osbourne, friend of the show. Thanks for watching.
Huge friend of the show. Yeah. Ozzy Osbourne wasn't the only Black Sabbath member to have indulged in drugs and alcohol. Family show. Let's move on to number 2. Everybody but Axl Rose for somebody else in Guns N' Roses is my favorite one.
Yeah, I could care less. I mean,
What about Chinese democracy?
I don't know.
A friend of mine was really good, a really big Guns N' Roses fan, and it was about 2000, 2001 when Chinese Democracy came out,
Mm-hmm.
and he was psyched.
Yeah.
And he got the bootleg,
Yeah.
and we put it in,
Right.
and we all listened,
Yeah.
and he, like, burned it because it was so bad.
Oh, wow.
It was bad. Not good. There was, like, one, like, okay song. The rest of it was just god-awful. Chinese Democracy?
yeah.
Ugh. One song was okay. I forgot. It was, like, more of a ballad, but the rest of it was just...
Are you familiar with the writer Chuck Klosterman? He's like a music writer.
Mm-mm.
He wrote this amazing review of Chinese Democracy where he talks about how there's one part where Axl Rose sounds like he's a Jamaican vampire. And like I was like, it can't really sound like that. And then listen to it, and it totally does. he only says like one, it's like, but I cannot. And like the one line just sounds like a Jamaican. It's the craziest thing.
I'll
And-
check that out, actually, because I actually love Transylvanian reggae.
Oh, do you? Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this is perfect for you then.
It's
yeah.
real niche.
Yeah. Big fan of that. Big fan of the show.
Yep.
You know who? Too bad of a joke. Can't make it.
Along with Axl Rose / Izzy Stradlin, Duff McKagan, and Steven Adler. Steven Adler had is like all messed up. He played video games with my friend in Las Vegas. He had this big long story about like how they were playing video games together in the late 90s. Are considered the classic Guns N' Roses lineup. However, artistic differences and Rose's inability to get along with pretty much everyone.
Yeah.
Not a nice person.
Yeah.
You love his vocals.
No. No,
Oh,
I don't.
You don't?
I lump him along with Brian Johnson, or whatever his name is.
It's like a
So whiny.
the talent to
Like,
be able to do
I
that.
love Bob Dylan, and I love Knocking on Heaven's Door. And Axl Rose makes me so mad when I hear knock, knock, knocking on. I hate it.
You hate
Can't. Yeah, that. I cannot. I can't even. With
Okay,
that.
so I know how I get under your skin.
Yeah, a couple of ways. Yeah.
Gonna be in an Airbnb for the next couple days.
I know. So
with some-
excited. Are we
with
gonna
some knocking on heaven's door?
cook brunch together?
We're gonna snuggle.
All right.
I'm a big spooner.
Doesn't say if he's the big spoon,
Big spoon, a little spoon.
or
yeah.
the big small spoon.
We're gonna be in Florida for this.
Florida. Your hometown,
My
your home state, where you're from,
where I'm from.
where he was born and raised until he was like 2-ish.
1. No, 4. Actually.
Dan's a Floridian.
So
I am.
when they say Florida man, they're talking about you.
They are.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born in Fort Myers, Florida.
I'm gonna see you get off the plane and like there's like some transformation's gonna happen. Be like, oh man, I sense gators.
You're gonna see from his hair a Bass Pro Shops hat is gonna come out of his hair, like just naturally, and his pants are gonna turn camo. All of a
Yeah,
sudden.
yeah. He
it's
reaches
gonna
into a
happen.
pocket of baby alligator.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna know how to vote.
You forget how to drive, except if it's a fan boat.
So stupid. And then I guess number 1, we're just gonna go right through this one. Sammy Hagar for David Lee Roth, Van Halen. So are you a Van Halen or a Van Hagar? Van Roth or Van Hagar?
I really liked the music video to "I Can't Drive 55."
That is not Van Halen.
We've
I
had this
know.
exact conversation before.
I know, but it's
This is the
nobody
breadth
else
of my
knows this.
knowledge of Sammy Hagar
Yeah,
or David Lee Roth. Sorry,
David Lee Roth is he's David Lee Roth.
he had that long, curly, golden hair.
He was a fan favorite.
Yep.
And they sang songs about people.
Teachers.
Yes.
Yep.
Being very hot.
Yep.
Like in
Like a temperature sense.
in
like
temperature, yeah. But then they got
Schools
into
without
like,
air conditioning.
Yeah.
I think I'm more of a Van Hagar guy because I was a corny 11-year-old kid. Corny, by the way. Corny.
Corny. Corny.
I prefer Roth.
So you're more of Van Halen 1.
Van Halen, the first 4 Van Halen albums.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. But I don't hate the Hagar stuff though. The Hagar stuff has its place. It's just not my thing. Is they went a lot of synths in that era.
Yeah.
And like Eddie Van Halen's a fine keyboard player, but he's Eddie Van Halen. Like I want to hear him play guitar. I don't want to hear him play synths.
Sure.
Yeah, true.
He was a pianist, wasn't he?
Yeah. That was his first instrument.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember if it was him who had never learned how to read music. I think that's what it was. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's just. I mean, I'm the same way. I didn't start reading music until I was in my late 20s. Did everything by ear, but then things started making a lot more sense.
Yeah, it's not like totally necessary, obviously, to become successful as a musician.
Started looking at things in a different way, like,
But
that's why that's a third.
So helpful, yeah.
Because it's the third above. I mean, it's just, I didn't need it because I was trying to play piano.
Right.
So I had to learn left and right hand.
Right.
And learning how to read drum music.
Oh, incredibly helpful.
I couldn't believe how helpful that was.
Yeah, to visualize it. Yeah. See what's together and what's apart.
And that's why I told everybody that I by necessity had to teach drums because my drum teachers left. Not because I was a bad boss, because they just moved on.
Nobody said that.
It wasn't because I was a bad boss.
Immediately defensive on that, huh?
Didn't even wait for us to comment before jumping right into that defense.
I just want to make that clear.
Pizza party. 5 minutes? We got the 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Let's talk about some honorable mentions.
Sure.
I see a couple that are listed here. David Gilmour for Sid Barrett and Pink Floyd. That's probably the most successful line change ever.
And also, Sid Barrett also went nuts in the middle of that. Like it wasn't like they were like, he's a better player. We should replace Gilmour. Like, Sid Barrett just like
die in an asylum.
No,
he
lived
died for a very long time.
Yeah.
And he put out music.
It was the inspiration for Dark Side of the Moon.
And Shine on You Crazy Diamond.
Jeez. And Wish You Were Here.
Yeah.
Piper at the Gates of Dawn.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Was his album.
Yep.
And it's what's your opinion of that?
It's like early prog rock.
Yeah, it's very different than what you'd think of as Pink Floyd, but I like a lot of that stuff.
How about John Frusciante? Is it for John Frusciante?
John.
And Red Hot Chili Peppers.
For
well, he replaced the guy who died first, Hillel Slovak.
Yep.
But then he left a bunch of times.
He did, and came back a bunch of times.
Now I believe he's back again, right? The Chili Peppers, yeah.
He's had major problems dealing with substance abuse, but he made them sound the way they currently sound.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah. How about Travis Barker as the replacement drummer in Blink-182 back in their heyday?
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I thought Travis Barker was the main drummer.
Yeah. Who was the other drummer?
Scott somebody or other.
Oh, it's like wasn't somebody famous?
No. It was after they had one big hit with that guy, and then apparently he had a drinking problem, and they canned him and got Travis Barker.
It was, I'll tell you, Scott Rayner.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. Travis Barker's a real interesting dude.
He's married to a Kardashian, right?
I think so. And the reason he's got tattoos all over his body is because he was severely burned in a car crash or a plane crash, and they canceled like a tour because of it.
Yeah.
And people were like mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then how about this one? Some may say this is not a replacement, but John Mayer as Jerry Garcia. Not in the Grateful Dead, but Dead and Company.
Is he singing all the songs?
He sang the Jerry
Jerry ones, right?
Yeah. He played with Bob Weir and Phil Lesh.
Oh, wow. They're like 80 now, aren't they?
They're up there, 70s. I thought he did a great job.
I haven't seen it.
He's not playing with them anymore, but
he is.
Oh, he is. I thought they stopped.
One last tour this summer.
Oh, okay. That's this summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard people ask me if I want to go. I don't know.
Everything's just too slow. I'm gonna warn you. Everything is very slow.
Yeah.
Every song is just this plodding, slow rhythm.
That's the only thing I don't like about the Dead is that it's like there's not a lot of like really energetic tunes. It's like you got like Sugary.
Right, but even that now they're doing that very slow. Like Bob Wheeler's doing everything very slow. So all
Because he
Dead
can't
and Co
keep
stuff
up.
is just
Me smash. Anybody else here on the replacement list?
a lot of this stuff happens before bands are famous, you know. But once you've made it, like I always respect bands like U2 or REM that like the core of the band stays together for a very long time.
To your point, U2's going on tour in Las Vegas. They're doing a residency there, and
With a different drummer, right?
different drummer for the first time in 40 years.
And it's because he's hurt. Like it's not.
Yeah, he's like banged up. Apparently, drums takes a toll on you over time. I've heard that before. Actually, I haven't. That was the first time I heard it.
Very profound.
Singing and belting your lungs out isn't very good for you either.
The whole lifestyle's bad.
It's bad. Yeah, you just get banged up, tired, and you know what? Moving equipment, I never want to do that again. I never want to. Every time I pick up an amp here, I say to myself, "What am I doing?" I swore to myself I was never going to do this again, but here I am. I hate moving equipment. It's time to wind it down. We're getting the sign. The boss said we got to go. Real Brave is a music lesson studio. Today we do this podcast, but today we talk about a bunch of people that got replaced, band members. Sometimes you got to fire a band member. You know, if you're in a band somewhere and you just got fired, watch this podcast. I probably said some horrible things about people. I apologize. But you can
let this serve as our blanket apology for this episode and previous.
And future.
and
Future.
You can get music lessons online in our wonderful suite. It's our live one-to-one lesson suite, realbraveaudio.com. Get a free lesson now. Sign up today at realbraveaudio.com. Tune in every week, Wednesday-ish, or Tuesday, or maybe even Thursdays.
Could be.
You never know. We're going to keep you on the edge of your seat. Okay? We'll see you next week here on Real Brave Live.
Real Brave Live.